The last time we left this story, the fight with Frieza was about to begin. Guru passed away, meaning he couldn't get his wish, and needless to say, he wasn't very happy about it. They have Tien here, but without Gohan's rage boosts, will the group be able to last against him? Find out now. The fight begins as it always does, with Vegeta taking on Frieza in his first form and breaking more or less even. Frieza was confident he could beat Vegeta, but he didn't like his chances against all of them in this state, so he would resort to his second form. Vegeta, along with the rest of the group, quickly realized they had a much less favourable matchup against this form. Around the same time, Piccolo comes across Nail and the two agree to fuse. Frieza's first move upon transforming was to impale Krillin on his horn before throwing him into the water. Goten rushed forward, kicking Frieza in the back of the head as hard as he could. But remember, he isn't Gohan. Whatever slight boost he might have gotten from his anger isn't close to what Gohan could manage. "You're quite strong for a child. I almost felt that." Frieza would turn around, grabbing Goten by the throat, and beginning to strangle the boy. Goten struggled in his grip, but he couldn't move. Frieza would tighten his grip as Goten foamed at the mouth. Vegeta fired a blast at Frieza's back. It was enough to make him drop Goten, but Frieza wasn't exactly hurt. Before Frieza could turn his attention to the prince, however, he'd have to evade the Destructo Disc from Krillin, which sliced Frieza's tail off. Frieza chases after Krillin, which gives Dende the opportunity to heal Goten, who is now stronger than ever due to being a Saiyan, reaching a power level of 750,000. Krillin arrived after giving Frieza the runaround, and then Piccolo appears, challenging Frieza, much to the surprise of everyone present. This Namekian, who had only beaten Nappa by sacrificing himself, was beating Frieza? Vegeta couldn't believe what he was seeing. Seemingly sick of being on the back foot, Frieza decided to use his third form, allowing Frieza to take the advantage, torturing Piccolo with hundreds of blasts too small and fast for him to keep up with. Goten would once again try to help, charging forward and punching Frieza. He caught him off guard with such a dramatic increase in power, but that didn't last long. He dodged the next attack from Goten easily, as well as the other blows the boy threw his way. Frieza caught Goten's fist. "You, my boy, are proof that wiping out the Saiyans was a wise decision. If you were allowed to grow old, you could be quite the threat. So I'll have to deal with you now." Frieza would punch Goten twice across the face before sending him to the ground with a strike from his tail. He'd point a finger at Goten preparing a blast, but before he could fire, something else caught his attention. "Piccolo! Grab Goten and get clear!" It was the three-eyed one, with his arm outstretched. Piccolo did as he was told, grabbing Goten and getting as far away as he could. "Neo, try beam!" Frieza was thrown down into the water by the attack, and before he could recover, Tien would fire again. He needed to buy time for Goku to be fully healed, so he had to keep this up as long as he could. Dende rushed over to help Goten, who got another Zenkai, bringing him up to a power level of 1.5 million. In the original, Piccolo saved Gohan from Frieza, so he didn't get this. Here, this second Zenkai could make all the difference for Goten. What's with that attack? How does he have that much energy? Tien was around as strong as the short one, so how was he pinning down Frieza? That's Tien's most powerful technique, but he's pouring his own life energy into the blast. If he keeps this up, he'll die. In other words, we need a plan B. Vegeta came up with the idea of Krillin almost killing him to get a boost, so Krillin would blast a hole through his chest. Tien would finally run out of energy and Frieza would fly upwards, thrusting his hand through Tien's chest, killing him. Dende couldn't bring him back from that. Still, these humans had troubling techniques. That one had held him off and the bald one had maimed him. If he got caught off guard again, it could be bad, so he'd skip any further toying with them and transform into his final form. Dende healed Piccolo and reluctantly Vegeta, but this didn't go unnoticed by Frieza, who decided to deal with Dende to prevent anyone else from getting healed. Vegeta didn't care, however. He was ready to challenge Frieza, who seemed bored by the whole sordid affair. "You actually plan to fight me? My, how confident you are. You might not have noticed, Frieza, but me and the boy have been getting stronger as this fight goes on. You should have finished us off while you still could." Vegeta would fly towards Frieza and try to kick him, who simply ducked under the attack. Goten would rush to punch Frieza from behind, who evaded that too, causing Goten to unintentionally punch Vegeta in the face. "Hey, be careful! It's not like I meant to— Look out!" Goten swept Vegeta's leg, causing him to fall over but evading a kick from Frieza. As amusing as these monkeys were, he was growing bored of them. Even the two of them struggled against Frieza, and when they did manage to land a hit, it didn't do much of anything. If it hurt at all, he didn't show it. Vegeta would attempt to fire everything he has at Frieza, like in the original, though the Emperor simply deflected the attack. Finally, Frieza decided to strike back, beating Goten with a single punch to the stomach before deciding to strangle Vegeta. Goten got back up and attempted to help him, but Frieza easily fended him off, even while strangling Vegeta with his tail. Eventually, Vegeta lost consciousness due to the lack of oxygen, and he dropped him to the ground, preparing to finish him. Before he could, however, Goku would show up. He didn't give the Emperor a moment to speak, as when he arrived, he saw what he'd done to Tien Shinhan. "You're going to pay for what you did to him." Goku would catch Frieza off guard with a series of surprisingly strong blows, though of course Frieza wasn't giving it his all just yet. Goku vs Frieza goes as it always does. Frieza finds enjoyment in toying with Goku, so he doesn't take the fight too seriously. The first change is when Goku is trying to prepare the Spirit Bomb. Piccolo, Goten, and Vegeta are all trying to buy him time for the attack, and while Vegeta survives a little longer here, he's by far the most injured person, and Frieza finishes him off with a death beam, bringing it to just Goten and Piccolo buying time. Still, they'd buy enough time, and Goku would hit Frieza with the Spirit Bomb, almost killing him but not quite. Frieza would return, killing Krillin and injuring Piccolo. Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan and tells Goten to take Piccolo back to the ship. They'd meet Bulma at Goku's ship, and they'd feel the planet shake around them when Frieza tried to blow it up. Goten, this ship has an autopilot. It'll take you to Earth. Bulma stood up, turning to leave. If Frieza is going to destroy this planet, we can't wait for Goku, so you two take off. What about you? Goten didn't seem happy about this. If anyone can figure out how to pilot an alien spaceship, it's me. Once Goku has beaten Frieza, he'll need somebody to get him off this planet. Are you sure you can handle that? Goten let her go. It's our best move. Piccolo, who still had a hole in his chest, sat up. He still hadn't recovered, but he felt better than he had. King Kai took notice of Bulma's plan. It shouldn't be necessary, but he'd keep it in mind. If this didn't work out, they could always wish her back. So, Bulma would quickly explain what to do in case of emergency before taking off. It took her a short while to find Frieza's ship, and despite the hole in the window, she was pretty sure it could still fly. Since they weren't waiting for Goku, Goten and Piccolo would take off, although technically this meant they won't be on Namek when they eventually make the wish, so Piccolo and Goten have to take the long way home. Still, the ship has enough food and water, and with nothing else to do for a month, they can train and use the increased gravity. Back at the fight with Frieza, Goku had just allowed Frieza to power up to 100%, and he would notice the ship leaving. "Is that yours? Containing the Namekian and your son?" Frieza would fire an attack towards the ship, which Goku would scramble to intercept, burning his back quite badly after taking the blast. Frieza would smirk, beginning to target the wound on his back, since he knew that would hurt the most. This allows Frieza to take the advantage, kicking Goku in the back across the burn, breaking the blistered skin, causing Goku to double over in pain. "If you'd only abandoned them, you wouldn't have given me this opportunity." He'd fire another energy blast at his back, knocking him to the ground before stomping on the wound, grinding his foot into the raw flesh. Goku once again yelled out in pain before letting his energy explode around him, forcing Frieza to back up. Goku would then rush forward, slamming his fist into Frieza's stomach. Frieza would elbow him, once again aiming for the wound on his back, but this time Goku flinched but didn't move. It was agony, but he was running on adrenaline right now. He'd have to worry about that injury later. Frieza and Goku would trade blows, with Goku refusing to give Frieza any breathing room. Frieza could keep up, but just barely. Slowly but surely, he begins to lose energy, and Goku would turn the tables. Back on Earth, they'd gathered the Dragon Balls and had wished back everyone killed by Frieza and his men, which includes Tien and Vegeta. Then King Kai tells Guru to tell Dende to wish everyone on Namek to Earth, though Goku insists on staying here and dealing with Frieza. So they wish for everyone to go to Earth, with the exception of Goku, Frieza, and Bulma. Huh? Why Bulma?
"She wants to make sure you get off this planet safely, Goku."
Goku was a little surprised by that, but it made sense the more he thought about it. Bulma was pretty brave after all. Goten and Piccolo are already in orbit by this point, so they aren't on Namek. The rest of Goku's fight with Frieza is much the same. Goku is far stronger than Frieza, and Frieza has lost most of his stamina, so he's no longer a match for Goku, who tries to leave. As usual, Frieza tries to kill Goku with the Death Slicer, and it doesn't work. Instead, he cuts himself in half. We still get Goku giving Frieza energy, and then Frieza tries to kill him, which also doesn't work. Then Goku tries to find a ship to get home, and thankfully Bulma would show up piloting Frieza's ship, so the two of them escape the planet in time. Although they still wind up crashing on Yardrat. Kami would tell Dr. Briefs to greet the Namekians on Earth, and King Kai would explain what happened on Namek. Goten and Piccolo were both alive and would return to Earth in about a month. Bulma and Goku were also alive, though King Kai was unsure where they were. It only took a day or two for Piccolo and Goten to recover, and to pass the time before they got to Earth, the two of them would train using the gravity chamber, both getting quite a bit stronger in this time. In fact, by the time they did get to Earth, they were both significantly more powerful than Vegeta. Chi-Chi is just happy to have Goten back, and though he does keep training, he also has to keep up with schoolwork. Once the Dragon Balls are ready again, they wish back everyone killed by the Saiyans, as well as Krillin. Since apparently Mori is stronger than Guru, now the Namekian Dragon Balls can bring back multiple people at a time. They then wish for a new planet Namek, and then for Goku and Bulma to come back to Earth. But the pair refuse. For whatever reason, they aren't ready to come back yet. So instead, they wish for the Namekians, excluding Kami and Piccolo, to be transported to New Namek. As for Goku and Bulma, they were still on Yardrat. Goku had recovered from his fight with Frieza, but he had quite the scar on his back to remember it by. He and Bulma were training under Master Pibara. Goku still decided to learn instant transmission, but what does Bulma decide to study? Would she go for instant transmission like Goku, or perhaps healing? Maybe cloning or gigantification? That, dear viewer, is up to you. Well, not you specifically, but you as a collective. I'm going to put a poll up on my channel. What does Bulma study on your drat? For now though, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you want and let me know what you think. Maybe consider subscribing if you want to, but that's all for now. Have a good day.